what I wanted to say is in the world there are many different types of people, and some people like to be they like to be very picky with the people they keep in their lives or the people they connect to. And though that's okay and you do you, but I think if you want to be be a receptive person and receive, and you want to allow memories to happen and things to flow and adventure and like connection with other people, you have to accept the individuality and, you know,
perspective
of other people. You have to be able to connect with people. You have to be able to, you know,
accept other people,
but like be in your own body, be in your own mind,
mm-hmm.
and be yourself. You don't have to change yourself to be able to connect with someone. You have to sit in your own body, in your own mind, in your soul, and look at someone else and appreciate them. You don't have to agree with the things they say or believe in or agree with or disagree with. You just have to appreciate them doing them learning, and being a whole. You don't have to be the same as that person. You don't have to be anything like them.
I understand. You were talking about the perspective, accepting the perspective.
Acceptance of other people's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, suppose if someone is right, then we may accept their perspective too.
Yeah, sometimes in the middle of a conversation, I say something, it just comes out, and the other person in the conversation says something and doesn't disagrees with me, but doesn't try to correct me, but just expresses their opinion, and it stuns me, and then I'm like, okay, now I really just saw a whole different perspective. Then I change my perspective, not because I want to be like that person or because I'm letting someone else control the way I think, but because I'm inspired, and because I want to grow and expand as a person. So then I change my perspective, I mold it how I want it to be, but I also give credit to that person because I was inspired by them.
Excellent. But you don't have to push yourself to accept something you don't want to. You might have a different opinion regarding something.
That's exactly that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm going to change my opinion to be like someone else because I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
If I feel like someone said something and it really spoke to me, it touched my soul, my heart, then I have every right to change my perspective. If you always want to hold on to one perspective, then you're not expanding or growing at all as a person. Perception, the way you think the world is, the way you think everything is, the whole universe, it always should change and grow. Yeah. You cannot just, if you're trying so hard to just believe one thing or not to believe one thing or to be one person. I used to think that I want to be a specific person. I don't want to change too much because I want people to be comfortable. I want everyone to be like, oh, that's Yafi. I never wanted people to be like, oh, you changed and whatever. But that's so wrong, because if we don't change, we will never be happy with ourselves. If we don't learn, if we don't accept that in the past we may have been wrong, and also we continuously grow. Different things happen to us that changes us. Old perspectives, an old perspective with a new body, new mind, new soul, whatever, new everything will never fit. It's like working. You have a favorite dress, but you want to work out, and you start working out, and then you want to wear that dress again, but it's an old dress from an old time. You have to move on from that dress. You have to find another dress that you'll fall in love with, that'll fit your body beautifully, no matter how your body looks, but just looks really good on you. And that's a new chapter in life.
Yeah.
You know, that's the same with perspective. You don't have to have the same perspective for the rest of your life. It has to grow and expand.
And people think differently. Someone has a different opinion doesn't mean that you can be disrespectful.
They always... there's a reason why they have that opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There are situations that built that person. They have trauma. They have things that happen to them that makes them think that way, and there's no right or wrong. There's never no right or wrong. If it works for them,
Mm-hmm.
if it harms no one else, it works for them. They have every right to be and whatever, you know?
You've said something brilliantly. You said there is nothing right or wrong. So
As long as it doesn't harm anyone.
Yeah, it's just their perspective. And
yeah, like if I have everything that has ever happened to me, somehow it affected me as a person. It built me as a person. I have character because I lived.
right.
And because of those things, I have so many different perspectives and beliefs that you don't have and that you will never be able to accept.
Mm-hmm.
Not for me, but for you.
Yeah.
And you have so many things that happened to you that built you as a person.
Right.
Your bricks will not you know,
Mm-hmm.
will not stack up on my bricks because your bricks are different.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The material of your bricks are different. Yours could be harder, mine could be softer.
No, every journey is unique. You cannot compare one journey
I think
with another.
once you accept that there's a reason why everyone's the way they are, and
Absolutely, yeah.
once you can accept that everyone it's like the word is sonder, that everyone's living a life, everything, so many things have happened to someone, and like even yesterday something very traumatic or something huge could have happened to me, and that could change me today in a huge amount. Like you could be like, who are you? You weren't like that yesterday. How are you like this today?
Right.
So acceptance is so important, because then it's so much easier to connect to people, to accept people, to be with people. Because I think even though I'm an introvert, I think being able to connect with other people teaches you so much. And
Right.
It doesn't matter what class of person they are, whether if they're homeless, whether if they're a billionaire, whether if they have a degree in something,
Yeah.
whether if they don't, whether if they don't even know their ABCs.
Right.
It doesn't matter, because that doesn't teach you anything. That just teaches you, basics.
Basics.
But what teaches you is what builds you, which is your experiences in life, your life.
Absolutely.
Your past and your present builds your future.
Things you get from your experience, your lived
and
experience.
It's not like you learn from them. You are not them. You aren't your experiences. You aren't, and they don't define you, but they do give you perspective.
That's so true. Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's what I wanted to say.
I was like a bit depressed or demotivated, but every time I speak to you, I get motivation.
Not to brag.
No.
But I heard that a lot from people.
Yeah.
But it's another thing I recently accepted is when I'm depressed, I feel like I cannot be around anyone, because I like to be an inspiring person. Because when I learn something, it so touches my heart that I want everyone to understand it. So I explain it until they will understand. Sometimes I have thoughts that I cannot put it into words, but I still
But
try
you can write them very well.
I try to. But when I'm depressed, it kind of breaks me a lot, because I
But
cannot
why does it affect my body,
your
brain
body? Depression, oh
Yeah.
my god. Trauma affects your body. People do yoga, people do so many different types of physical work to get trauma out of their body.
Yeah.
Like they have, especially women, I think women, they have trauma around their hips, so a lot of women move their hips when dancing. So many people will tell you to start dancing because it actually heals you, because your body is moving. Because depression, trauma, anxiety is stuck all around our body.
Okay. Yeah, that's so true.
And
a little act of kindness, like a few words can change someone's day.
Not only
like
that,
brighten up.
I focus on self-healing a lot. A lot. And something that makes me so proud of myself is every day at night I try to look for at least just one, even if it's small, one thing that made my day worth it. And yesterday it was that I cleaned this whole space.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that big of a deal at all if you look at it from just, a different perspective. But for me, that made me incredibly proud. I don't know why, I don't have to explain myself, but it made me proud, and that's it. That's all you every day at night, whether if it's not a big deal to you or it is, you just tell yourself that you did this and you should be proud of it. And tomorrow it'll give you motivation, because if yesterday I did this, tomorrow you can do that.
That's true.
So I always remind myself of the things that I did and the things that I've achieved day by day.
And your just meditation is helping you a lot too, I guess.
Yeah, meditation really, I can sit with myself, I can monitor my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think when you're meditating you have to stop thinking, you just have to be in the moment.
You have to, it's a very misconception I have heard from great meditation gurus, very famous one or new ones, you don't have to empty yourself to meditate.
No, you have to see, all you have to do is sit down and be present. What I like to do, you don't have to do what I do. But what I like to do,
but everyone's perspective
is different.
Style
whatever
is different.
Works for you, whatever, actually you can see physical, mental, results, you do that. For me, I sit down. Sometimes I like guided meditations if my mind is, if I cannot control myself sometimes. I'm, very chaotic minds, very normal to have too much going on. Then I like someone else's voice speaking to me. It feels relaxing. It feels like I have someone.
Right.
But sometimes I like to sit down. I like to close my eyes. I feel like we're having a podcast.
Yeah.
But I like to close my eyes. I like to sit down and just, I like to, I want the chaoticness to go away, but I don't want my thoughts to go away. I just want to sit down, I want to see myself. I want to see who I am and what my thoughts are like. I want to sit down, close my eyes, and see what I think. I want to see what I think. I want to know what I'm thinking, because I want my subconscious, I want to build myself as a person. I want to be a good person, and I want to be expand a specific way. There's a version of myself that I want to be, and that I already am, but I'm not working on it, because we have so many personas, and I think we should accept that.
That's so true. So many personas.
And this comforts me so much, because I never feel like I have to be a specific person. I have no expectations for myself. And that comforts me so much. I don't have to be who I was yesterday, ever.
Yeah,
if I want to be this person today, I didn't come to this world to be one solid person.
Or I didn't come to this world to be someone else.
No, I came here to be whatever, to be everything. I came here to experience every single day. We're living. We live every day, unless you die. You're not living, but you get every day. Every day is a chance to do literally whatever. Every day I can be a different person, as long as it's not affecting other people. But I can be whoever I want and expand myself. And one day when I'm so comfortable with who I am, then maybe I'll just rest.
If you are really comfortable with whatever you are, whoever you are, then I think you will be very positive for other people too. Because if you have self-hatred, you cannot make others happy, or you can make other people depressed because you're not happy with yourself. So whatever you said was so inspiring, because deep down I was beat down, and then whenever I speak to you, I discuss things with you, you motivate. Being my daughter,
and sometimes when other people, it's lately I've been very accepting, to myself. When I'm depressed, I'm wasting my days, I'm doing nothing, I'm on my phone, I'm literally wasting my youth. But if I act like that, if I act with hate to myself, that is not going to change anything. It's literally not going to change anything. If I self-destruct, if I ruin myself, if I say bad things to myself, that's in no way or any way going to help me. I'm just gonna feel worse. I'm going to be like, okay, well, since I'm useless anyway, I'll just not do anything. That's not right. If self-love is the most important thing in this whole entire world, your first love is you, and that's what your first love should be.
But you cannot be self-obsessed or
that's a
narcissistic.
That's a whole
different thing. Yeah.
Self-love and narcissistic behaviors is completely different.
Different, absolutely.
My love for myself shouldn't affect someone else. If someone else is jealous, if they are jealous because I have love for myself, I don't self-criticize 24/7, that's not my problem. That's someone else's insecurity reflecting onto me.
Yeah.
That's something they should work on. But if I am trying to be better than everyone else, if I'm trying to be superior and against other people, that's narcissistic.
Yeah,
and that's
you
not
can
my
never
goal.
be better than anybody.
I
You
will
are
never
you.
be and can never be. No one is better than anyone.
Anyone, right.
This world is full of people that are equal, but their egos control them to think that they're superior.
Wow.
So
and what about like if you see someone is doing great, someone like you feel someone is doing better than you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like sometimes I'm talking to my friend and I absolutely love sharing my achievements, and I love listening to other people's achievements, because not only does it inspire me, but it helps me think differently. It helps me think maybe someone else's words help me not to think stuff like that. Maybe it helps me to think stuff like that. It doesn't matter what, but if it's making you into a good person in your perspective, then it's good. But sometimes I'm talking to my friend and she's talking about how she's doing this, she's doing that, and she's so happy, she feels so much love, and she's happy with so many things in her life, and I hear such positivity coming from her. Then suddenly it's uncontrollable, but then I look at myself and I'm like, I'm not why don't I feel like that? I want to feel like that. Why don't I want to feel what she is feeling? And I have to, what am I doing? Why does she feel like that and I don't?
Does it challenge you sometimes?
It honestly,
should it? No, I would like to rephrase.
Should it?
Yeah.
I always like to say, it is inspiration.
Wow, that's what I wanted to hear.
The answer is inspiration, not challenge.
Yeah, that's what
the only person you should challenge against is your past self.
Yeah,
you should try to be better than you were before. I want to be better than I was a second ago.
Exactly.
I always want to be.
I am what I am. I am who I am. I cannot
also,
be someone else.
When it comes to physical appearance, I think it's very important to talk about in this day and age because of how influential these things are. But sometimes I look at someone and I'm like, that person, she is the most beautiful person I've ever seen, and I'm not going to lie. And I'm not ashamed of it because it's extremely normal. I sometimes do compare myself to other people when it comes to appearance. And this is completely normal. I think the only way
as long as it doesn't harm anybody or it doesn't challenge
the only way to move on from a flaw of yours, like comparison, is the only way to do that is to accept that you do that. Accept that this is what you're doing, this is what is happening right now. Because if you pretend like it's not happening, how are you going to
change it?
If you want to believe something, but it doesn't work like that. You have to accept what you want to move on from.
Wow.
Otherwise otherwise it doesn't exist, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Nobody so it's like then you'll be in denial. You'll be like, okay, how do I move on from something that I don't believe in, that I don't think is happening? Yeah. So if you really want to move on from something, if even something really bad, like you are really extremely jealous of someone, it sounds really bad that I'm jealous of someone.
Yeah.
But
you need to acknowledge.
you have to be aware.
Mm.
And you have to accept it. I'm not saying you have to be like, okay, I'm this person, yay. I'm saying, okay, I feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
I have to lovingly and supportively take myself out of that space
Mm-hmm.
and learn from it. How could I learn from it?
Wow.
How can how can I change this? Why do I feel like this is the most it's a really good question to ask yourself. How could you help this situation? To speak to yourself as a child, not in a disrespectful way, but in a loving way. Like, how do we speak to children? We calm our voices. We speak slowly so they're not scared, or they're not, really, they don't feel fear. Fear drives us away and makes us do all crazy stuff. But speak to yourself. Maybe close your eyes, meditate, and imagine your child self, your younger self, you as a 5-year-old. How would you explain that to a 5-year-old? How would you understand? How would a 5-year-old understand? That is really helpful, in my opinion, to understand things in that way. But yeah, sometimes I compare myself to other people. I'm like, I'm not this person.
But if you want to improve someone, suppose I do things wrong and you want to improve me, if you are doing it in a very harsh way, then all I will remember is your harsh words,
not what I tried to explain to you.
Yeah, that's very important. Like,
yeah,
it
so
shouldn't
exactly,
traumatize someone.
So that's also really important when it comes to parenting. If you want your kid to understand something, you have to say it. You cannot explain through emotions. You have to explain through maybe feeling or words, logic, and to for no matter what age, for that person to be touched by what you said, to really understand it. Kind of like, it's like you're going into their, not manipulating or anything, but going into their mind and trying to make them understand the way it makes you feel. Like, if I'm sad about something, I'll tell someone that the thing you didn't make me sad. The thing you did really made me upset, and it really hurt me. I was really hurt by this.
Sometimes people, instead of putting your work on the table, people put you, like the human being. Sometimes it feels worthless.
It's really, when it comes to relationships, something that is really hard to deal with is when people get defensive when you try to express your feelings towards them. They think, they're making me... No, I'm not talking about saying it harshly. Even when you say it softly, I think some people get really defensive and think, they're telling me I did something wrong and they don't love me. They're probably just... There are people like this. It may sound childish and stuff, but there are people who take any type of criticism or anything that may be a little... is not praising them, and they'll take it in a really bad way. I think it's really important to hear people out, to really ask yourself what you're, like, question yourself, question life, question everything.
But your words are very important, the kind of words you're using for them. Suppose you want to improve them, you want to help them, but you're using words that are not helpful at all. So in that case, they will only
it's
think
not
they will
about,
remember.
I don't think it's about words. I think it's about using
Emotions.
words to make someone feel something.
Yeah, that is so important. Like, sometimes, like, I feel worthless. Like, am I that much worthless? So all I can see is, like, not people don't look at my action. They do is just you as a person is so worthless. So this is absolutely not helping someone. So this is what I'm...
Yeah, and I think if you really want to make someone hear you in a way, I think it's more important to focus on something they did, something external to them, instead of saying them as a whole did something wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pointing out an individual from that perspective is...
like, what you did, what you said, not you. You are fine, but what made you do that? Whatever made you do that, it's okay, but it did hurt me, so in the future, if you could change it up or maybe not do that. You have every right, every reason to do whatever, and maybe there's a reason for it, but I don't know that reason.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna overthink and be like, why did this person do this to me? So please put yourself in my shoes and understand.
because I'm trying to understand you.
Yeah. My journey was different. I've learned from
I
my
came from
journey. Yeah.
Although we're in the same destination, I came from a different path. So I don't know the same trees you do.
Right.
Mine had flowers, yours had trees. I came from here, you came from there.
There,
but we're in
yeah.
the same place.
Exactly.
We're in the conclusion.
Right. Right.
But yeah. I have to go now.
All right. Thank you so much. It motivated me so much, Mom. I'm so proud to be your